Welcome to day 57. Topic today is going to be within the general's tent, is going to be on course correction, right? It's part of the weekly game and within the general's tent. And just like we suggested here a minute ago, we are going to course correct. Now, this is going to happen after, we do our return reports and our lessons learned, right? Once we do these things, um, we are going to have an opportunity to course correct. We're going to take in all of the areas that we score. We're going to have an opportunity to say, did I hit my outcome? You know, um, we're going to look at it. What have I learned? What worked? What didn't work? We're going to answer those questions inside of all of the areas. Am I in track? What did I fuck up? Right? I fucked shit up. That's what we do. We're humans. Like that's what we do. We fuck shit up, right? But we want to do it less. So we want to acknowledge where we fucked it up, make some course corrections, and not allow that to happen in this upcoming week, right? So, for example, when we're course correcting, we're going to say, okay, in all areas of the core four, right, in our body, we're going to want to answer the questions, like we talked earlier, what worked this week, what didn't work, and the things that didn't work, obviously, we're going to want to correct, right? So maybe there's something in your workout that isn't working. Maybe there's something in there that's not creating expansion in your life. Possibly in the other part of that, right? Maybe there's something in your green smoothie. Maybe you don't like the taste of it, right? And it's deterring you from actually consuming, uh, what that portion and getting that point every day. Same thing with your, and this is probably mine, right? It's the item of the being, right? I struggle with meditation, right? And I've course corrected, and I've ended up having to leave things long enough to actually give them a chance. But what we want to do is what is working, what isn't working. Am I getting out of the meditation what I need? Do I have space, mental space to hear the voice? Do I have mental space to connect with myself, and so on? And along with that, maybe there's something in the way you journal. I made a shift. I need to shift back, but I made a shift from journaling by hand to a video, and that's how I got started. Because the hand was so annoying, I had trouble reading until I got things under momentum, and it wasn't quite so frustrating. I shifted to a video version of that. Uh, Same thing. It might be in your balance, right? The way you're delivering your message of appreciation. Maybe I made this mistake, right? I did what I thought was messages to my kids, and they were full of appreciation and so on. But I got deterred because I had an underlying of expectation that they would respond in some way, in a certain way. Uh, until I actually course corrected that, um, I delivered the message a different way and eliminated and became conscious of the fact that I had an expectation out of that. One of the biggest areas that need adjustment in my life actually was what I consume, right? I consume things that are enjoyable to consume, right? We have a habit of using our strongest leg, if you will, because we like it, right? People like doing things they're good at. And so I found myself consuming things that I enjoyed, things that had affirmation to what I was already doing, and I wasn't actually growing out of that experience. So I made some course corrections and actually consumed as much of a struggle as it was at first, things that were my weakest points were. Um, so as we go through the whole situation, the whole week, we want to course correct on this entire matter, right? Part of this is we want to review the stacks, how often we do them. Am I actually deriving something meaningful from the stack, or am I just kind of skimming over the top of this thing without actually expressing the anger, the underlying anger, without actually giving it time and space to actually function as it should, right? When they asked the question, if you could scream anything at this person, what would you scream? And you don't scream, like you're just, well, I wish you would do that. And like, no, like you need to clear that space. And that's something that I had initially be able to do. So one of the things that I need to do is course correct. Like, is the stack working? Like people were saying, I'm getting these remarkable results. And I'm like, that's not working for me. Like, I don't know. I can't find the anger. Like I can't get angry enough to make this thing work. And the fact is that I've kind kind of suppressed the anger. I've walked it off, talked to myself, and I actually went to the stack afterwards, resolved, not resolved, but suppressed, and it didn't work, right? So I had to make some adjustments when I actually do those. The one thing, is the one thing that I've chosen, is that getting me where I need to go? Is it still on track? Do I need to break this thing down a little bit? Have I picked one thing maybe that needs to be broke down? Like, we can do that from week to week, right? Because we have a one thing every week that we're able to make some adjustment. And the follow up to that is the key four, right? If once we get the one thing, a lot of times we can find a pattern. We maybe have to course correct. Maybe we don't assess the situation, or we assess it from our current worldview or past worldview of who we were. Now that we have expanded and we have the ability to uh, have this viewpoint on the situation, maybe we can course correct some of these things and make them more accurate. So once again, the assignment is to teach what you've learned. If you can't teach it, you don't know it. If you don't know it, you can't live it. Along with the other items at the bottom of the page, we will talk to you tomorrow in week or day 57.